Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with What Are You Listening to Lately? I like this one because I get to listen to things that I want to, not things that I feel obligated to or have to. I can just have a good time. And recently I was, on the train coming back from work, as I tend to be several times a week, and I hauled out this wonderful recording. It was on my iPhone, but of Jacob Gade, or Jacob Gade, however you want to pronounce him. He's a Danish composer, no relation to Niels Gade, I don't believe, who lived from, he lived from like 1879 to 1963. He had a big, long life, and he's famous for one piece. And you know what that piece is. You may not know who wrote it, but you know what it is. It's the Tango Jealousy. You know the tune. That thing. Actually, it's also known as the Tango Cigana, the Gypsy Tango, or it's got a million names. And everyone knows it, and it's just so much. It's such a great tune. It's such an iconic tango that people normally assume that someone like Astor Piazzolla must have written it, or someone from Argentina rather than somebody from Denmark. But no, it was Jacob Gade, and he had a long and illustrious career as a composer of light music. And this particular disc is piano works. It's piano works played by Christian Westergaard. I have to say, though, the labels are crazy. I looked at, here's the label, and it's on Da Capo, if you can figure that out. Okay, there's the Da Capo here. And, it has one of these foldy things. It's a flapper. But it just says, all it says is Jacob Gade, Waltzes, Tangos, and Cinema Music, Christian Westergaard. And there's nothing about Christian Westergaard. What is he playing on? Is he a conductor? Is he a kazooist? What is he doing? He's a pianist. He's playing the piano. If you look in here carefully, well, on one of these pages in the front, there he is. There it is, Christian Westergaard, piano. Thank you. This is a wonderful disc. This really is a wonderful disc. And what makes it so cool is the last bit here. Okay, the waltzes are fun. The tangos are delicious. It's just wonderful music to play with. But the cool thing here is cinema music. Books 1 and 2 from 1926. Now, 1926 was a fateful year. It was the year that electrical recording was introduced, and soon to be talking movies were going to appear shortly thereafter. So it was the end of an era in a way. And what Gade did here was he put together 2 books of, six things each, I think, yes, of music that could be used to accompany silent films. Back in the days when people were silent film accompanists, Shostakovich made a living playing silent film music. And what would happen, of course, was that the pianist would watch the film, and as the film was playing, he would have to improvise something that fit the mood of what was happening on the screen. And over time, composers and pianists who did this, of course, amassed a repertoire of sort of stock pieces that they could draw on depending on what the situation or the circumstances of the plot were. It was just like, if you watch old 1940s and 50s television programs, you'll hear that there were sound clips, stock sound objects that were written by composers like Bernard Herrmann and people like that, but they were in the audio library of the major studios, and people could just use them, and the same ones kept popping up in different shows, which made things very, very interesting. One of the things that's fun to watch every so often is The Lone Ranger, which my partner Sean reintroduced me to. I never used to watch it when I was a kid. And of course the plots are rudimentary, and it's from the 40s and 50s, but the music is wonderful because they use all the same stuff, and it's all Wagner and Weber and Rossini, of course, the William Tell Overture for the theme, but tons of other stuff just tons of it. I mean, they used the Egmont Overture in an absolutely terrible, hasty performance, in one episode. And, there's Beethoven, and there's all the standard orchestral turbulence stuff gets used I mean, the Freischütz Overture is like constantly being played. It's marvelous. Anyway, and that's what happened for silent films as well. There was a lot of music that was written or that these professional accompanists came up with, and Gade was one of them, and he put together these two suites. And for example, let's look at what they consist of. Each one has 6 movements, as I said. Series 1 has an andante pathétique, misterioso, burlesque, agitato, intermezzo. You need some music during intermission or something, and moderato poco agitato. And, the pianist could use these pieces or use their own pieces, but at least, figure out what mood they created and apply them to what was happening on the screen. The second book has let's see, what does this say? Stillhead. Okay, fine. So it's in Danish. Folk scene, misterioso, chanson triste, entr'acte, and a storm scene after Rossini, which is the WAYLTL Overture again, of course, or something similar to that. I don't know what a stillhead is. I mean, it's I don't know. Anyway, we could look. Anyway, you could look it up. Get your Danish dictionary out. Stilhed. And that's what that is. Wait a minute. These kinds of things make me crazy. And since we happen to be here, let's just look at this. Stillhead in Danish means silence. Thank you. That's it. Silence. Okay, quietness. So there you go. Voila. Isn't the internet a wonderful thing? So we have here Christian Westergaard playing waltzes, tangos, and most intriguingly, these 12 short pieces that could be used to accompany silent films. And I just think it's wonderful. And I had a great time listening to this again, and you probably will too. So there it is. And, it's listed down below too, in case you're curious. It's a rather unique album and fun to discover. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me, and just take care of yourself. Oh my. There's so much going on in the wonderful and wacky world of classical music. And let's see if I can find out how to turn this thing off. You know how like your mouse disappears, the point you think, there it is. Thank you. Take care.